T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, ready to rock, ready to roll, ready to be queer. Am I right?
Oh yeah, baby, rock and roll.
Don't. Oh, damn it! I'm an idiot. I made this thumbnail and I never added it to my freaking.
That happens when you're ahead of schedule.
When I'm what?
That's what happens when you're ahead of schedule for once.
Yeah, no, I made it, and then
You forgot to put it there.
I forgot. I forgot about it. You know.
Yeah, forget about it. We just watched The Godfather, me for the first time. So now
what better day to watch The Godfather than the day it's revealed? Hey, buy my gay comic to own Comicsgate.
Who said that again?
Oh, the writer of the new thing.
The writer of the new thing.
Yeah, the new Green Lantern.
I see.
I'll pull it up in a second. Let me just send this to myself so I can upload the thumbnail. All right, let me go in my email to myself. Doing a little gay ops at myself. That is unfortunate. I really hate that I did that to myself. And there we go. All right. Now it's time to go over to the old Twitter and look at this. What's his name? Go search. Tim Sheridan. And he's been hitting the block button on everybody. All right, here we go. So no one can reply to it.
We can always take a look-see-poo.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know why you're blocking people, dude. We'll just use alts and screenshot your shit and still call you up. Not that I really care.
Block his IP address.
Oh, yeah. I made some funny memes as well. Let's look at this state of comics. Every time I'm like, hey, there's good comics. You don't gotta be triggered about everything. There's things to buy, there's things to look at. Then this guy, he says, comics friends, queer friends, allies, I need your help. Please share this and let's work to deliver CG a big L. Hashtag I love Alan Scott.
But he's requesting minorities help him.
Right. And he also continues before we play the video. He says, for you innocents wondering what CG is, they're a hateful group of misogynist, queerphobic, racist a-holes who actively work to take down comics with any hint of diversity. They deserve a big loss. That would be the L I mentioned. By the way, the quoted posts are hilarious on this. Lots of the CG a-holes are mad because I didn't frame this as read my story because it's good and you'll like it. I'd say that's implicit. If I had any confidence, they knew that word. Here is the video.
Hey, I'm Tim Sheridan, writer of DC's Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, and I just opened up a box of advanced copies of issue 1, which look amazing. This is the main cover, which also gets a virgin foil variant, and that's by the great and powerful David Talaski. There's also 2 other amazing variants, one by John K. Snyder III, and this beautiful portrait by Nick Robles. I am here to ask you a favor.
The fact that he cut it is like, I don't know who the fuck worked for me. I gotta look up this guy. How do I say it? Okay. And this guy. Now, what's funny is you got like his fan corner. It's unclear if this is a fan corner of like, this is shit I worked on or stuff I'm a fan of, or I don't know how often he does YouTube stuff, but maybe he's just like, it's kind of like the whole geek corner shit that Rather Me does to make fun of all these people, where it's like, I am cool with the things.
Right.
I'm always suspect now when I see this stuff. But if it's stuff he's worked on, then like, okay, cool. It all looks like newer shit. So anyway.
The book comes out next DC Tuesday, October 24th, but already the haters and the queerphobes are out to see that this book tanks. They use code and they make it sound like they have legit problems with a book they haven't read yet. But the truth is, they just don't like that there's a queer hero in the upper ranks of the DCU. The only way we can shut these people down is to make this book an undeniable success. The only way to prove to all the big publishers that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA+.
I'm gonna laugh if it's like worst figures for a Green Lantern comic in its 70-year history.
That would be funny. Well, it's funny too. It's like he's like, we have to make it a success. Success meaning money, the type of success that's just,
well, he's
like,
saying, please buy it. Let's boost this in sales so we can you know, and it's like that's not really merit then.
Well,
You
that's
know,
what I was just saying. It's like, okay, let's say we can all mob buy something, but does that mean it has the quality? I mean,
I mean, we've
so
seen
that
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 with
is one annoying
ISOM.
thing. That is one annoying thing. That is one annoying aspect of CG where it's like, well, look at how much money it made. That isn't really the important part. Not
Yeah,
necessarily. It's like how good is the product of the comic and stuff, the story.
it's
But
unfortunate.
yeah,
It's unfortunate he's trying to market this way, where it's like. Also, it's like I don't know. Green Lantern's already like a cool idea, and then you've brought back this retro guy that I don't know how much they've ever used him since like the '60s. Um, but you know, Hal Jordan and John Stewart are the two icons of modern day. That's like the first two that's going to come to mind because the cartoon and the films and whatnot, animated. Hal Jordan is like, you know, main dude. John Stewart's maybe got more love because the cartoon. And then Guy Garner, Kyle Rayner, and then you got like the Muslim, you got the fucking Latina EVS worked on. I don't this is weird. I mean, you're talking about space cops. I mean, if you're going to talk about like gender fluidity and spectrum, it's like I feel like the Green Lantern would be right where it's at. It should be implicit, you know, like it's like Lando. There's all these alien, like Donald Glover said something about Lando, where it's like, well, it's all these species, all these aliens. Like, how would you not be pansexual or whatever? You know, diverse in your interests. Like, yeah, I agree. I feel like there would be weird sentient species that were outside of a binary.
yeah,
Um,
probably.
you know, but
Like
like
or
the,
people in general, like not falling in love with their own species.
yeah,
Somebody else of a different species. Like, oh, I'm a Twi'lek who loves whatever the fuck Kit Fistu's people are, or something.
Nautilans.
Right.
But yeah, like I
Camino
just
and the
look
Keanu
at
movie people.
Avatar. Avatar, the sex is on. It's still presented in a binary, but the sex is elevated because they got this whole mystical connection element with the hair braids, where it's like your hair braid is part of sexual bonding. Um, you know, so it's, I don't know when you talk about bringing aliens, it's like it doesn't have like I don't know.
They have their LGBTQAI 10,000 Infinity Plus,
Yeah, they're space
chapters to the
cops.
galactic
They're
core.
intergalactic. So I feel like this is
Space
a
cops in
non-issue.
space.
Now, if you brought them to Earth and it's like, we don't like your weirdo sex pest, blah, blah, you know, like that. Okay. If you brought it to Earth, then sure, I guess. Alan Scott is one of the many lanterns for whatever reason. I don't know why. It seems like Earth has a disproportionate amount of
Let's say, why do
lanterns.
they have like 5,000 fucking lanterns? Like, I thought there was like 3 lanterns on Earth or something. Over
They keep
time,
making
I,
more
I, I, assume, I
humans.
assumed
It's
it was
annoying.
more. I assumed it was more like there was like 3 over time, not like maybe 2 at a time, but like, oh, I passed this one on to somebody else or something, or
Yeah,
like,
it's a little silly. I don't like. I've tried to start reading like the Jeff Johns run off of like a list of like here's the reading order, but it's just like
well,
it,
is
it
it the
gets
kind of
so convoluted with the spectrum,
is it
all
the
these
kind of
different
thing where like planets in the universe only have populations of like a few thousand, and Earth is the only one that has like billions?
billions and
Because
billions.
I feel like that might be what it so like in I know that you never watch Stargate or whatever, give a fuck, but like that's okay. Like they have this like thing where other civilizations that are on other planets that have people are usually like within a few thousand or something because of like when they arrived there and how long they've been at those different planets and stuff, that they don't have enough time to just populate the whole planet essentially. So it's like, okay, within like a few hundred years, 2,000 years or something, there's a certain amount of people, and they also end up getting killed often by other alien threats. So they get like their numbers dwindle down a bit and then come back up and stuff. So it's like Earth is the only one that has like billions of people. The other ones usually have like just thousands, maybe a million at most. So, but
Yeah,
point me, that can make sense why they have so many threats and or lanterns on Earth, I guess. But I don't know. The amount of people doesn't make sense for the amount of crap that happens to Earth. That is our planet, though. So I guess that's.
I feel like there should be an
Maybe why.
octopus lantern and a dolphin lantern and an elephant lantern. I feel like, given their sentience, their intelligence, I feel like Oa would have a way for them to be. Yeah, I don't know. It's too much, and the spectrum. It's like interesting, but then it feels so convoluted. And
Imagine if there
really,
was like a Cthulhu lantern, like a Leviathan thing. Becomes a fucking lantern, like, oh yes, this gigantic.
Well, like I just
creature
got the Bleeze statue, and she's like this kind of maleficent, like angel creature from a certain planet, and then she gets like tricked or something. And they like rob her of her wings or some shit, and just reading the synopsis about it was like pretty cool. But then it's like, I gotta read Green Lantern shit to like make sense of how I get to the point of the Red Lanterns and stuff. And there's the Star Sapphires, and which isn't Starfire. And I'm like, when I found out from comics,
those are separate than Starfires.
Yeah, Starfire is what Coriander's her name. She's from her own planet of like
Right,
sex people, which is
right.
weird because it's like she was captured out of some like trickery with
Her sister or something.
Blackfire or whatever.
Yeah, that's like supposed to be her sister or something. Her girlfriend. I don't fucking know.
Gets her and like gets her caught in like sex slavery or some shit. Which is like, I don't really know. That's a punishment if like you're all like a very strange perspective on sex. I don't know.
Teen Titans had it be where there was like a weird goo people that they like Game of Thrones had to marry or something, and it's like, oh, it's it's the only way we can have peace and not war or some shit. You gotta have a Gurgle Schmeck or something is like the name of the guy she's got to marry. Teen Titans takes the less sexual route, so maybe it was sex trade. As long as they're inclusive enough to have LGBTQIA apples there.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant to do. I gotta find that one meme from there. It is. Send it to you so I can post it on something really quick. There we go. Yeah, let's finish this video.
And that these stories are for everyone is to buy the heck out of books like this. This one's only 6 issues and each one has a few variants. So I'm asking, if you have the means, buy them up, buy extras to give to people you think really need to read it. Now you might say this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle in royalties. Well, no, I won't make a penny because every single royalty I receive from these 6 issues will go straight to a charity that's very important to me and that I've supported for a long time, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which works to prevent HIV stigma and provide compassionate care for all
HIV is still a thing, right?
No, that's what's funny is like we've gotten to the point like as a kid, sex ed, like AIDS is like the pinnacle.
Yeah, Magic Johnson. Yep.
Well, I would say like you got vying competition between AIDS and pregnancy. Either one you don't want. It's like, you get pregnant early in school, like, yeah, your life's gonna suck. You're gonna have to drop out probably, get your GED. College is gonna be a lot harder.
They seem to have a lot more cures for pregnancy than they did for AIDS.
Or you go to abortion clinic or adoption agency.
Yeah, I feel like there's more fixable solutions compared to HIV.
But the AIDS, it's strange that it's went from like a scary thing to like no one talks about it. No one's like, oh man, look out for AIDS.
In the South Park that was like from 12 years ago was a funny part with it. They were like, AIDS. Wow, how retro! Like, cancer's the new thing now. And that was like over 10 years.
Kind of, I guess like they've gotten to the point it's really not advantageous to make money off of.
Yeah, they're just like, oh wow, your foundation for HIV, that's like so unconcerning.
Yeah.
God, this guy's fucking face. Look at his mouth. He's like, yay, I'm happy boy. I'm selling queer Green Lantern. Wee.
I am asking you to join the Corps. If you care about truth and justice,
Queer Corps,
shining a light in the darkness, if you think comics are and should continue to be for everyone, or if you just want to force these Comicsgate trolls back under the bridge they crawled out from, please support our book and send a message that the bullying and the lies and the hate have to stop.
I don't see in any way how the success of this book stopped anything. I don't understand what he thinks this accomplishes. What do you think this will accomplish?
I have no idea.
They'll stop. So like, what that won't stop anything else from happening. Like I don't. It'd just be that book sold well, I guess.
Well, it's the weirdest thing, dude.
I don't
Like if this
understand.
came out in like 2000 or earlier, like you see, Alexander maybe broke even, and it's very heavy with the gay element as like a sort of in the closet. The in closet bisexuality of Alexander, like they present it negative because it's written, it's made in America and it's during the Bush era. We just started the war, so that of course they heavily paint the Greeks, of course they were, but white versus these like Arabic people, which is not necessarily true because the Persians are huge empire. They're multicultural. But trying to use that to go hand in hand with the sentiments of the day. So it makes sense. But the fact that he had the balls to actually bring any homosexuality with Alexander the Greeks into the story is amendable. That's brave. It's actually brave for him to like risk people protesting, boycotting him, the studio, his movie. I don't know if there was really a big thing about it. Maybe he had to shield a bit of historicity, even though he presents it like a negative. Alexander's kind of sneaking around, but like that's an era where it's like, all right, we got to push against homophobia with our art. But now, like they got fucking queer drag story hour and stuff. There's no issue. If anything, it's too fucking much. Everyone's turning gay or bi. Iceman was like the first real fucking, we own your characters. We're gonna fuck with them however we want,
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where even Patton Oswalt did a funny stand-up thing a while back or whatever, where he's like, yeah, my he had a friend or something that like grew up being bullied for being gay and whatever and whatnot, and then like his kid or his like nephew or something, it comes to him or he asks, he's like, hey, how are you doing in school? Are you being bullied? He's like, oh yeah, it's pretty bad. He's like, oh my god. And then it's like the difference is like, they want us to have a separate our queer dance to be separate from everyone else's or something. Like they have their own like prom because there's so many queers or something in the school or whatever. And it's just like, oh god, yeah, you're so oppressed. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like this is the cell, and we're going to look into find some articles maybe inciting us a bit, but like this is the whole cell is like queer Alan Scott, which I don't know how much memes have had. Like, Batman Robin, of course, is a very obvious thing to pull from of like, was this queer coded? Was this like sneaking it in all this time? Especially some of the art I've seen from old comics where it's like, that's kind of gay. Like I've seen stuff that apparently What's Up Doc was like a queer coded thing from like gay bars or something. That was like a little like password in or something. I don't know if it's true. But like that's a thing I've seen before. It was like common to just try to queer code everything, trans everything. So it's like this would make sense to like hide it, to be sneaky, but it's like I don't know what the struggle of Alan Scott is. What's he fighting? Like, are you writing this like he's in the 50s? And that would like be like, again, I've talked about Captain America. If you did an alternate, world Captain America, alternate universe, something where it's like, oh, he's gay and he's the hero, he's the image of America in the 40s, but like everyone loves him unless they'd find out he's gay, and he'd have to like, they would revile him even though he's doing everything for America,
Yeah.
That's interesting. That'd be an interesting plot thread to like make a character like that, where it's like, this diversity element is very pertinent. Or like, oh, the hero, but under the mask, he's black and it's during segregated Jim Crow, so he can never take off his mask if he wants to be the hero to the people, because then they would burn a cross in his yard or something, That's worthwhile. I don't see anything about this on top of the culture in where it's like, if anything, you're going to limit your job opportunity for saying anything negative about like, well, why can't you just be back to like traditional families or promote that? You know, it's the government flew the fucking pride flag on the White House. You're not oppressed.
True. Yeah, exactly.
It's silly. Let's finish this.
Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics. Everyone needs allies. And if you're an ally, now is the time to step up. We outnumber them. So let's pool our power, vote with our wallets, and beat these assholes. Add as many of these 4 variant covers for Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, to your pull list today. Pick them up in store next week, Tuesday, the 24th. Thank you so much.
This is for DC Comics.
Yeah.
See, what would be the victory of like was he trying to outsell like a Cyberfrog or Isom, or was he trying to?
Oh, that'd be hilarious if he beat Isom.
Was he trying to outsell?
Well, like at the heyday with the Green Lantern, with the Rebirth, when all the fans are like, "Woo, Jeff Johns, Ethan Van Sciver, and all the other people in this series of Green Lantern stuff," they maybe sell 50,000 copies at $4, and so like when we start doing the math, like people ain't making nothing. You're getting like a contract, and then Diamond's getting a cut, stores get a cut, company gets a cut because they own it. So like. These aren't comics don't make money. Ultimately, we've gotten to the point where it's like they don't make money. They got so many things to compete with in entertainment: Netflix, Disney Plus, video games, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Real life stuff. There's a lot more to distract you than before. Comics were. If you wanted to see a fantastical story with pictures, this was the only thing you could get. So. I kind of appreciate Riley made a good point sharing this, that like, well, this is kind of smart actually. It's got let me see. I'm trying to see one of the original posts. Let me see. Media. Here we go. I saw it had like 170,000 views on Twitter. So it's not a bad marketing strategy to like try to like, but it's weird that they're doing like a Comicsgate sell of like, hey, Comicsgate with indie comics. It's like you're working upstream to get seen. What are your connections? This guy's with DC. And so like, I'm not against it. It's just it's weird to sell instead of being like, you should check out Alan Scott. He's going to be doing this, going to fight this character we're bringing back. We're crossing him with this character from a totally unrelated DC series that you would never think he would deal with. Something like that would be, I think, an introductory sell. And then maybe afterwards go with this queer thing, maybe, or that's like an additional sell. Not this is the forefront, making diversity the forefront of a product. It's not a good strategy in my opinion.
It never is.
It just feels surface level. And it's like, well, buy it. He's queer.
So buy it. He queefs.
Yeah, but let me look this up. Tim Sheridan, Green Lantern.
What's up, Stephen Walton?
Dan Green Lantern. Trying to find a more recent article. So September. Multiverseofcolor.com. Let's share this. And hey, what is up? Stephen Walton. Excuse me. Sharing the screen. All right, interview. A new era for Green Lantern shines with Jeremy Adams and Tim Sheridan. Beginning this fall, there will be not one, but 3 different Green Lantern titles in circulation. They'll continue to work on the main title of the series, focusing on a newly grounded Hal Jordan trying to get back on his feet. Alan Scott will begin his journey on October 24th. Green Lantern by Tim Sheridan. Hal Jordan. Alan Scott.
Stoney Mick in the chat says, "I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Green Lantern's always been gay."
Well, I don't know about this one. I never really read it, Alan Scott, but from what I understand, with Hal Jordan, he's a military pilot. He's probably a Republican,
but he's got his fancy space ring. probably what he's going for.
Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, captures line for DC's first ring slinger as a closeted gay man.
Ring Slinger. Oof, that's a name.
Similarly, this extends Alan Scott's upcoming series written by Tim Sheridan. Beyond its featuring the return of Scott's arch nemesis, the Red Lantern, it will also incorporate the hero's life as a closeted gay man in the 30s and 40s. Scott came out as gay in 2021. So I saw a post. I don't know about this, but apparently he was married in the comics.
Married to who? To what?
A woman, biological female
species,
vagina haver, a bonus hole haver,
a female species. I gotcha.
The priority for me is to make sure that we don't upend everything about Alan's life, as if this is some kind of gigantic reinvention or retcon or something. It's really about coloring in some things that maybe weren't colored in before, about connecting dots that weren't connected before. Sheridan explained. Older people come out of the closet every day, and you don't yell in their face, "That's a retcon." They're just telling you more information about themselves that they withheld maybe before. Sheridan stressed that the book will have both great comic book fun in addition to a darker look at life as a closeted gay man during Scott's time. He identified a central tension underlying Scott's character as a public superhero and a gay man. On one hand, he's a guy who's lauded as a hero on the front page of the newspaper, but he knows that by the laws of the day, he's a criminal in his own bedroom. Beyond this historical component of Alan Scott's story, Sheridan hints at the expansiveness of Scott's powers that fans are only beginning to understand. The explanation of the green energy has always made me wonder why we mostly only seen Green Lanterns create energy constructs. I've always felt like there's greater potential for the type of power that they wield. And I've wondered if maybe we're only in our infancy of understanding what it can do and be used to do. Like being a gay bomb.
the way you say that makes me think of like somebody's got like hand grenades and they throw that at opponents and then
frag.
They get, like,
no, instead of frag out, when you throw a grenade, supposed to say frag out, you go fag out.
Like then the grenade goes off and then they all turn like fucking pink or something and like, oh my gosh,
hey. This approach to Green Lantern story is incredibly promising. After all, what makes the Green Lantern mantle unique in superhero comics is the infinite search of creativity that writers and artists can bring to life, bring to each tale. Regarding this watershed moment in the time for Green Lantern, Adams hopes that this era of books will remind readers why they love these ring slingers in the first place. While they all have this same source of their power. Yeah, ring slinger sounds like a slur.
Those gosh darn ring slingers, spear checkers.
I think. Like. Oh wow, yeah, exactly.
The gay version of that, or whatever.
I think that will end up catapulting Green Lantern in this next era, whatever that is. But it has to be drastically different than what has come before it. It has been so cosmological for so long that by virtue of Tim Sheridan doing a miniseries about Alan Scott that's Earth-based, and I'm doing Hal Jordan that's Earth-based, it's like we brought them home. And Earth has never been happier to have some of its Green Lanterns back. Yep, there we go. Gay Green Lantern.
I'm going to shine my ring at you, okay?
Yeah, that sounds like a slur for gays.
Poosters and ring slingers.
Speaking of gay, let me find this. I made a meme. I want to say this meme got me blocked. Let me go to my media. Where'd it go? Close. There it is. Let me share this. There you go. So I found this article from 2013.
I am not a homosexual.
And so I just memed it a little bit. I changed the picture and 2 word placements. Changed the date to yesterday and the name. So it says Eric July. I am not homosexual. And this is funny to me because it's the idea of why it's funny is one, Eric July is such a homophobe. And two, the idea that he would have to give clarification in an interview. I am not homosexual.
I'm imagining like Winnie the Pooh crossing his arms with Eric's face on it or something. I am not, I swear.
Oh, bother,
Right,
I'm
Tigger?
I'm not homosexual.
No, not today. That is of the ancient ways.
Oh God. But anyway, we watched something today.
What's The Godfather? I can't do a fucking Marlon Brando impression at all. I have no idea how the fuck. It looks like gravity on his face is like centered around the cheeks, and like I don't know how to just totally soon. It's
no,
like
you don't need to actually change your face. You just gotta be like
no, I know, but I'm trying
wheezy. You try to take my money.
settle this peacefully. Like he's so. I love the way that it's so calm, but he's like not. It sounds weird when he talks, but it also sounds interesting because he doesn't sound like a freaking Rise of Skywalker Kylo Ren or something. Like I'm gonna throw you into the ceiling because you spoke. Fuck you. Like just like
yeah,
a chill version and like a less enthusiastic Tarkin or something. Just like I'm even more experienced than Tarkin. Like it's just one of those kind of voices.
I would love if they did a skit. I don't know if they've done this, so if it's been done, let me know. But I would love a skit where it's like they're having like the sit down, all the bosses and stuff. And like, hey, if we do this, then you have my word, all my grandchildren, be no harm. I won't break the peace. It'd be funny if someone's like, "What? What did he say? Speak up." I don't. For the life, I never know what the fuck this guy is saying.
So he keeps on mumbling to himself and thinks that we fucking hear him. Like God, like nobody can hear this.
Yeah, he's like at a Greek like amphitheater where you have to like speak loud to be heard. And it's like, what is?
You have to
Does
speak
anyone hear this guy?
You have to speak at least a 3 for the microphone to pick up and carry out. But if you're under a 3, it can't even carry it out for you. Like you have to have a louder voice.
Yeah. It's fun to rewatch because I think it was mentioned when I was in this film class, and I was interested. I watched it, and I wasn't blown away. I was just like, "Oh, okay, like that's a movie." Rewatch, I picked up a lot more that just totally went over my head, like the horse. Like I remember the horse head, but the context just totally like okay. The intimidation and the layering that like they snuck in your home, snuck this fucking they either like intimidated your workers to go along with it, or they're so covert that they snuck in your barn, cut the fucking horse's head off. It's worth 600,000 in like the 50s, stuck it in your bed while you're asleep and let you wake up to get the message instead of popping you in the head or something. It's like, no, you're gonna do what we tell you. Stuff like that. The fishes, the setting up Luca to go try to work undercover in employment for the enemy and then getting whacked right away. The toilet gun. I didn't pick it up. I've seen a thing that apparently every time there's oranges in a scene, that's like an Easter egg for someone getting killed. And it's comparable to Scorsese in The Departed. There's always like an X somewhere in the scene for someone gets killed. Mm-hmm. So little things like that, it's clever. It's funny too watching. ISOM came up a lot when we were watching this because it's like there's this whole system of respect. It starts out with Don Corleone, and he's like, "Oh, like why didn't you come to me? Why'd you go to the cops?" And this is a kind of a disrespect to me. You don't really value me. You're just exhausted for options. And just you can compare in like the respect angle of ISOM, where it's very surface level and petty, versus this is layered. You got this whole like kind of Italian American history to imply from this. I don't know. That was interesting, but I'm still like, I feel this movie's overrated.
I liked it, but I don't really want to watch it ever again. Like maybe a few specific scenes. Like I appreciate it for what it is, and I like that, like he's got the wedding going on, and everybody's using this opportunity to talk to each other or to talk to him, and
or his Sonny sleeping with that girl against the door.
Yeah, and just like there's all this issues going on, and Michael doesn't really seem like the one who would take over the business or anything, but he ends up kind of being the one. I guess
he's the baby. Maybe that's why
he seems like he seems like the youngest. He went to the war. He seems like the only one that went to the war as well, and like was more far removed from the stuff, essentially from more of the gang activity, and then it seems like he's the only one that is able to really take it over. It's like that's interesting with what they do, but yeah, it was 3 hours long. It's 2 hours 55 minutes. I feel like that some of the scenes are good being like that. They don't need to be, long is good sometimes. Longer is better. Like Alexander's a long ass movie, but that felt like that was worth being that long. This, I don't know. There's some parts that I'm not sure why we were there for so long.
Yeah, I don't know what I would cut.
I'd have to really look at it again to like see what.
And it's a book film too, so it's based on a book. So I think that factors in too, of like trying to capture everything from the book.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having some cookies and cream chocolate.
Oh boy.
Hold on, let me show this. Here you go, Ricky. This is what a cookies and cream candy bar looks like. It's white chocolate and like kind of Oreo pieces inside. This is Lint. Not sure where that's supposed to be from. Switzerland.
Huh.
But yeah, I love like Hershey's cookies and cream, but I don't want to give Pronoun chocolate any money. Just like I don't give money to Daily Wire for their Pronoun chocolate because it's gay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Lint ad. They're just like, yeah, we make good chocolate. Buy the shit or don't. Fuck you. But anyway, is there anything else interesting I saw on Twitter this week?
Probably not.
Let me check. Oh, there's been a lot. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up. Spotify. The Dick Show. There we go. I've never used this on the computer, so bear with me. Here we go. Let me share this. I don't know where you can see video. I probably have to join like his Patreon to be able to see the access to where the videos are, but here we go. Let's listen into this a bit.
Dopamine hit like a little
Eric, you crying?
Uh-oh.
Eric July says everything is a joke to these people and nothing is off limits. Eric July crying about the guy visiting Isam's grave in a hockey mask. Moronic Opinions was his name.
That's who, yeah. I beat Riley to
and then he posted a link so you can go donate to the gravesite and like help them beautify the gravesite. Right?
Yeah.
Nice guy,
Wait, this guy donated to
he's like, by the way, like you can donate to these little like grave sites that churches run.
Right.
Here's a way you can donate to them and help them like fix up the graves.
It's the taping,
we're good
taping
people.
$50
We're good
to the to the door.
Yeah, we're just doing a little bit of
this is a joke,
making fun of
right.
the headstone.
Right. Right.
I beat Riley to it. He misspelled Riley. Everything Eric says everything is a joke to these people, and nothing is off limits. Yeah. Yes. Quote, just ignore it, or quote, you had it coming, because above all else is their hatred of me and what I've built. Man, first of all, that sentence doesn't make any sense. The reason all this is happening, Eric, is because you couldn't ignore my mild criticism of your comic, because you've never been criticized at all. You exist in a world of white guilt where you were given a athletic scholarship to a university you had no business being at. White people tripped over themselves to embrace your criminal past because they want to pretend like that they saved you and that they're more accepting to the black experience and that they're not racist. That vaulted you into politics by giving milquetoast repeated takes on the economy. So they pushed you to the top of the blaze. And then all this comic shit is just white losers that need to spend money to pretend that they're winning a culture war, which doesn't exist. They just, like I said last week, white people are compelled to waste their money. And you came along as a black guy that plays up your blackness to sell comics to white losers who are riddled and consumed by white guilt and driven overwhelmingly by a desire to burn their money.
Damn, you're mean.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Ricky?
That's pretty funny.
It's like, wow, he's really nailing what like maybe has subconsciously been a problem I've had, because you see it, and it's funny he talks about like people talk dumber to this guy and you mentioned like, oh, like I can't imagine a stream with him and Mahler debating something. That would be fucking awful. It'd be great. I can't imagine
them like talking to each other, because like it would just they would sound so foreign with like the way that they carry themselves.
Yeah, just get like Eric to watch Last of Us episode 3 and then have him and Mahler sit down and talk and be like, well, yeah, but like they didn't need to show gay stuff. It's like, but like they're gay people exist.
I'm waiting for Mahler to say something about the episode and then him to go, no, that ain't what actually is happening here. What are we talking about? Or something like he always says.
What it is someone really, he needs to have someone on stream with him, like with Vito, where anytime Vito says to be fair, and then it's like, suck cocks, like, you know, it's like a gag in the super chats, people trying to trick Vito to say to be fair. The only reward you get is like, damn it, and then they play suck cocks clip. That's it. But it's like funny because you're like, yeah, I got you, Vito. But another funny thing with ISOM is present this is new investigative journalism thanks to Stu Moran. He says, oh my god, it gets worse. Here is sold. So I thought these were bids in the mix right now, but no, these are CGC 9.8 graded comics, including EVS's awesome cover. Well, I say awesome, but like ISOM himself looks fucking stale. The rest of it, Bloodruth, Demon Monkeys, looks pretty epic. But ISOM looks fucking boring. And it's like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
I hate the orange of his costume.
The orange doesn't bother me. Orange and black go well with each other. But I mean, it's really blurry here at the screenshot. But he's got this monkey demon in a random headlock. And he doesn't look like he's stressing at all, trying to contain this rabid hell beast. It's just like he got like a 10-year-old in his arm, like, where you going, punk? And it's just like, that is not the cell. The cell is Bloodruth.
We see that one of them
Bloodruth's like half the cover.
One of them can damage him.
Yeah, once you read it, it's like very inconsistent too. But look at this. CGC. How much we're gonna have to look at this. Let me go to Ripaverse. ISOM 2. Pre-order campaign. We's gonna look over the pre-orders. All right, so 20,000 total purchasers versus ISOM 1 had 42,000. So he literally dropped half in his purchasers. All right. Let's see. I don't see, because it's all like ended. I don't see what the prices are. That's annoying. But I want to say the CGC graded sold for like 100 or more. Benchmarks. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. ISOM to CGC price. Available. No, that's some resale site. But I want to say they sold for like 100, and then you see this picture. They're selling on eBay for like under $30 plus shipping. So this has no resale value. There's an ISOM one, but that's cover C, so I don't know. Don't know which one was like the exclusives, or this cover D looks pretty cool with the moon.
I think that one's by Rini.
But I mean, the art for this one isn't bad, but it's just like boring. It's like good art, but boring.
I'm punching bricks.
Yeah, you see, like now he's over $30. It's an investment. I said, I tagged EVS on like he should scoop these up and resell them signed.
Well, that is what's interesting, because they seem to be selling at less than what they were sold at initially. And with EVS's books, Cyberfrogs, they're all more expensive after the campaigns.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, but I'm not a fan of Cyberfrog 2. The art's amazing, but the story's fucking getting retarded already. We'll see how it pans out, but I'm just like, I'm not like I think I backed issue 3, but like otherwise, like I'm not
but regardless, the quality of the art and whatever, like the value in general goes up with his compared to the other one.
Yeah, there is especially like people want, when they miss it, they want to back it later. So I agree. It's a funny insight to see. Riley says the Ripaverse stocks are crashing. The Clipaverse is killing it over here. He says, I got over 400,000 views on Twitter in just last month. At Air July, when are you saying you are sorry? What more must you lose before you take my generous out? You flagged the wrong guy instead of taking criticism and mockery. Pride goeth before the fall, Eric. David Isom, 19, broke the color line in the segregated pool in Florida, resulting in officials closing the facility in 1958. While seen today as a casual act of revolution, many white people back in 58 viewed this simple statement as a threat to their imagined superiority. Many facilities, well, I would say they were actually superior. Like, I mean, they enforced fucking racial lines and stuff in like colored fountains and shit. They were superior, and then
one of those imaginary lines.
Yeah, it's like imagine superior. It's like I think they were literally superior. Like that's just the reality. Many facilities in the 50s are racially segregated. The segregation extended to pools, libraries, toilets, water fountains, schools, colleges, restaurants, and more facilities for African Americans, often being in poor conditions, and those exclusively for white people. These restrictions were established through a set of systematically racist laws known as Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow is a theatrical character developed by Thomas D. Rice, who portrayed African Americans in offensive and stereotypical ways. The character typically involved a white man dressed in rags with blackface, portraying a black man as impoverished, unintelligent, and unreliable, suggesting that they should not be integrated into society. Character often engaged in dancing and singing racist songs while reinforcing the idea that the presence of African Americans increased the likelihood of crime, such as theft in the vicinity. I don't know. Might be true. That's an interesting one.
Yippity doo, yippity yay.
Oh, dude, that was funny as fuck to see EVS. That was funny as fuck to see EVS have that in his fucking stream.
Yep.
I hadn't seen that before.
He's done that kind of thing in the past, though. So it's like not like it's he's just doing it because of air. No, he's done that before, a long time ago.
Yeah, let me check. I feel like I saved some stuff that I thought was interesting. Oh, okay. I saw some libtard I follow share this. Let me go to it. I don't know what to expect at all. So this will just be a funny, random. Hold on. Oh my god, it's 3.5 hours. We did definitely watch the whole thing, but let's see what this is. Oh, okay. The foreign man in a foreign land. Let's see. I'm trying to see which video this is. Sissification of white men. White men. Okay. Let me share this. There you are. Present, share screen. All right, so here's the about saving Caribbean culture with commentary. This is Foreign Man, Foreign Land. So this is the video we're going to look at. Here we go.
This comment changed my life. It was leg day, and I needed my favorite pre-workout, but I was out of it. So instead, I read the filtered comment section. That was my first mistake. I saw the usual suspects.
That's pretty good. I'm going to kick out this guy's voice. I feel like he's probably utilizing it to his advantage.
Probably.
Tactical N-word variation in attempt to evade the comment filter. And this strange comment. Being the God-fearing, sexually repressed, and emotional constipated black man that my parents raised, I had never
black man
encountered this word before. So I put on my protection and began to search. And though my computer was protected, nothing could save me from what I was about to see. I would like you on a long black leash. I will parade you down the high streets. You've got the attraction, you've got the pulling power. Walk my little doggy, walk my little sex dwarf. They all love.
Oh my god, this guy is making a sick beat, even though he's like mocking it. I'm gonna have to like download just to clip this song. Like, yeah, I'm in the gym getting ready to get sissified.
Your miniature ways, you know what they say about small boys. A word once reserved for my hair texture has been added to the laundry list of culturally co-opted things at the hand of the hueless. That word is kink. Now that that's out of the way, I got a confession to make. You may be taken aback by this, but please don't go. Vocals. I regret to inform you that I am fatally cis and terminally het.
The hetero hell hecklers, the binary bimbos, 4 and 1.
What the fuck? Ooh, that was interesting off the get-go. The fact he's got these clips for this is hilarious. What do you think of that, Ricky?
It's not hitting me the same. I don't know.
Let me see what some of these.
I feel like I missed what the point was, that some people are calling him black words. Like, I missed the point.
Okay, so I guess his angle is that it seems. Let's go to his channel. So he's from the Caribbean. I guess he's in America. The white guilt to God pipeline. Nig cell epidemic. Ranking Twitter clones by racism. The homosexual problem. When you're racist, but niggerphilia, the black fetish. How fat went black. This is, you got one for black guys, the sissification of black guys. So it seems like his whole channel is about like, well, there's racism in this subgroup of humanity. But I'm appreciating the editing prowess of this guy and his kind of TikTok-fying his video to keep you engaged and laughing. But I'm disappointed. Let me see how I found this. Well, as a white victim of sissification, I will have to cover this on stream tonight. Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me go to the view quotes. There we go. Why are alleged leftists doing right-wing talking points? So clearly this bitch didn't fucking watch the video at all. Because he, yeah, I don't know. The laws of pitch is funny with the things she'll kind of put herself in mental pretzels to cry about. But I'm disappointed. I thought this was going to be a different angle. His channel, like, oh, it's just everything's racism.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see what else I found.
I'm not a fan of TikTok editing either. I mean, I it's fine, I guess, but I don't know.
Oh, actually, there was something interesting. I don't know if I saved it. Okay. Bookmarks. Let's see. Remove. Well, no, I might keep that for a moment. Yeah, I'll have to save that. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay. Here we go. I was talking about this to you the other day. I won't share the video, but we'll look over this article. Because it was like, this is a fucking talk about bad luck. Present. Stop screen. Here we go. Exonerated man who spent 16 years in prison on wrongful conviction shot dead by Georgia deputy during traffic stop. So just reading that headline, it's like, wow, that's fucking unfortunate. You get pulled over by the cops and then get shot when you've spent like probably half your life in prison wrongfully. A black man who served, I like that they put it lowercase instead of trying to virtue signal. A black man who served more than 16 years in prison on a wrongful armed robbery conviction was shot dead by a sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop. He was driving to visit his mother. Leonard Cure had been out of prison for 3.5 years following his exoneration when he was pulled over for speeding on. Okay, so now that I'm reading the second paragraph, it's like, oh, I was reading this as like he just got out and then he gets shot.
Right.
But it's like, he's been integrated in society for 3.5 years. Cure was allegedly doing at least 90 in a 70 zone. Cure got out of his car as a deputy at the deputy's request and initially cooperated, but became violent after he was told he was being arrested. The deputy used a taser and a baton on Cure in a bid to subdue him before the man began insulting him. according to the agency. Well, there's video of it, so there's no according to. It really happened. After Cure refused to comply with his commands and continued resisting, the deputy drew his gun and opened fire. Paramedics were called to the scene and tried to save Cure's life, but he later died. The deputy who shot and killed Cure has not been identified, and it was not immediately known whether race played any role in the incident, which is being investigated by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. It's unclear whether body camera footage of the traffic stop existed or if it would be. Well, it's already been out on Twitter, so. Cure had been represented in his exoneration case by the Innocence Project of Florida, which put out a statement Monday morning as well. We were devastated by the news that our client, Leonard Cure, was tragically shot to death this morning. Said, adding that he had a job, was in the process of buying a home, and dreamed of attending college to study music production. Cure was convicted in 2003 of robbery. His conviction came from a second jury after the first one deadlocked. Cure was sentenced to life in prison because he had previous convictions for robbery and other crimes. Well, that's okay. So it's a bit misleading. You say he's been he went to prison wrongfully. It's like, well, sounds like he was in and out of jail, and then he got busted on accident the last time.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy, right? Yeah, the video, he like gets out of the let's see. Yeah, I don't want to play and get in trouble, but like right away the cop's like, get out of the car. And he's like, for what? And he's like, you're speeding. It's like, well, that's just a ticket. It's like in Georgia, you get arrested. I don't know if that's true, but just go with it. Assume so. And then he's like, kind of being hostile, but he puts his hand on the back of the truck. I was watching this thinking he just got out, so it's like, oh, like he's going back to like prison mode, and so you're just like you're getting him in a bad state, you know, and then it's a bad series of events. But now I'm reading all this, I'm like, oh, it sounds like he's kind of a shitbag. He just got dinged wrongfully with a bad track record, so it's kind of like he set himself up for the problem. Yeah. Not the shooting, but the wrongful conviction. So
I mean, it seems like he's also like, I don't know, the way that he's looking right there seems like, I don't know if you should do that to a police officer, like just especially on like a road like this. I don't know, you like just get out of the car, and like that can appear aggressive, right? Like
no, the cop told him to get out of the car, but it's like, I guess he's under the impression like, well, why am I not just getting a speeding ticket? Like, what the fuck? Like,
well, I mean, I guess like he doesn't look like he's chill outside of the car either. It's like he looks like
he wasn't. He's very like
looks like he's ready to fucking pounce. It's like, so it's like, well, I could see why the cop would be edgy to at least try to stun him.
Yeah, so he like the cop ends up walking back towards the car when he shoots him with a taser, and he stands up and he's like ends up charging into him and tussling, and so then the cop gets his retractable baton, is trying to like break contact with him because he's starting to choke him, and 6
feet.
Yeah, and then like they spin around. I want to say the guy's backs to the car when the cop pulls his gun and plops him, I guess, in the gut, and he immediately like. It was funny too because on the right side, a Brinks car ends up coming by. I don't know if they're in tune with police stuff. Like you assume probably they're armed. That they're like, you know, security, they're moving money. It's probably armed and strapped with Kevlar. And so they back up. They got their like lights on. I thought it was an ambulance at first. I was like, oh shit, but it's Brink's car. I don't know if they intervened at all, but yeah, crazy stuff. Hey, what's up, Hoff? Hola mi pendejas preciosas.
He might accidentally have a different language on for typing or something.
No, I think that's purposeful. I mean, he might have switched it so he can do the proper accents with like the exclamation marks, but otherwise, I think you got it right. Yeah, how's it going, Hoff? Sorry, I got back to you. Sorry. I'm just getting used to my new job. Apparently, I'm in the worst phase. It's a very hot job. There's open flames everywhere all the time, 24/7. So, it's a job where you do like a break every 50 minutes. You take a 10-minute break to cool down or whatever. So, my job's just like I'm doing the bitch work for the first 30 days and then start the training process. That's 2 years worth. We'll see. It's not bad so far. If this is the worst, then seems like maybe I'll have less responsibility than I did my old job. So, but yeah, let me see if there's anything else interesting. Get rid of. Move bookmark. Anything interesting for you though this week, Orky?
Not particularly, unfortunately. Nothing too crazy to report. Just a chill old week.
You're done with that weird vacation schedule, right? Your comeback.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm back to normal schedule.
Oh, actually, this was interesting. No, not that. So, war in Palestine. Of course, I'm on the Palestinian side. I understand that the Islamic people are general enemies of the West, but I also can't condone genocide or attempts at it. So just I think morally I got to root for the Palestinians. It's not that like, oh, bring them here, but it's like they should be free over there.
Yeah, be free over there, please. Not over here. Not over here.
Right. So Mia Khalifa, I don't know if you've seen her or not. She's been in porn before. She only did like a short stint actually, but she was really popular because for the time she was in there, she was a great little slut. So anyway, this happened to her for being I think she's Palestinian or somewhere close. Maybe she's Lebanese or Syrian. She's close to Israel, her origin or her ethnicity, if not origin. And this happened to her. So it says Mia Khalifa has lost her earnings from her videos on Pornhub. That's how the porn star paid for her support of Hamas. Now, I don't know if she was paying Hamas or, I don't know. But the company has decided to donate the funds from the monetization of Mia Khalifa's videos to support Israel.
That seems a little fucked up.
Right. No one, I haven't seen anyone. If anything, I've seen people go like, ha ha ha, women posting their L's, stuff like that, which is like.
I mean, in terms of America, it seems like that's the opposite of what we stand for.
Right. It's like, I remember they had a case during Trump's era, Supreme Court, like pretty much right when he started, there's a case they ruled on that really undercut union political funding. So it's like if you pay your dues, whoever the union backed, even if you weren't supporting, like they made it where it's like you as a union member can put your money to whatever politics you want, I guess. So yeah, it's really fucked up. You know, she makes revenue. I don't know how much she's depends on this, but she's made revenue, makes revenue from all the views. She's a famous star, even though she's out of it. And they're like essentially robbing her. This is like a music industry type of thing where it's like she probably signed the dotted line where it's like, well, actually, we retain the rights, and even if we like cut you, we can keep your money. I don't know how that works.
Well, it sounds like you can do what you want with your money, but since you're supporting something that we don't like, then
we're going to rob you.
We're not only going to rob you, we're going to use the money for the opposite of what you're using it for.
Imagine if someone's like, I don't like abortion. And then they're like, well, we're going to take your paycheck and give it to Planned Parenthood.
Right. It's just like, oh, wait, that's wrong.
Yeah. It's like, and this really bothers me that no one's really.
This is when like the morals of it's like what are American morals really? What is it? What do we stand for? What does it mean?
Well, the fact no one's really. I thought about making a video about this because it's like this is one of those things that like you could come back to 5 years later as a topic, and this is like a footnote of bigger issues where it's like, oh, remember what they did to Mia Khalifa? Like this is a precedent.
And so even if it was to the enemy of America, essentially, it's like, well, what is America? This is where the definitions of America should be more clear.
Well, I mean,
Like,
American government's the
what it
enemy
is.
of the world, so I don't fuck them.
Right, but I think you know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah.
in terms of law and stuff, and like what people would try to stand for, because most people would be like, "That's you can't just do that."
Well, I feel like the fact that I feel like a lot of people have had to have seen this, and a few I follow, it seems like they're just like, haha, LOL, because they're like either fucking Jew lovers or I don't know what, or they think, oh, you did porn, so you get what you deserve or something. I don't know. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you really believe in like the free speech, we try and attack like YouTube and promote Rumble because of free speech and suppression. And
if you let this be okay, then this can happen to you.
Yeah, it's like,
Look,
you know, they talk about
you support Trump, but we're going to cancel your thing and take the earnings that you had for this period and put it towards the opposite of that. Like,
yeah,
you said it's okay. You guys were okay with it with this porn star and Hamas. Like, what's the problem now?
Yeah, so I don't know where this video's from. It says MSNBC on top, so I don't know if it's like internet part of MSNBC or what, angling it that she supports Hamas versus, I don't know if they're conflating supporting Palestine with supporting the group Hamas.
Which there could be some misinformation here, but how can we check? How do we know?
Yeah, but yeah, the actress won't get any money from her videos. So this feels like revenge porn. That is a thing that people get slammed for now. I guess there's been laws that like protect people from revenge porn. So if you ever get like girlfriend recorder and then you break up and then you share the shit and she finds out, like, you're fucked. I don't know what the penalties are for it, but like you're gonna get fucked in court. Deservedly so, because it's like you've robbed them of consent. This feels like, you know, it feels like she's kind of went against porn because she quit. I think she only did like 3 months of porn, but she's a huge star, still a big name. And this feels skeevy. It feels like they're robbing her of her agency or something. Or it's like, it's not that she's ever going to be able to pull everything off the internet. People will re-upload whatever, but this reputable site, this, you know, well institutionalized site, it's already had problems with Visa and shit, and credit cards because of CP issues on their website. They've really cracked down because they're threatened by credit card companies. This feels, I don't know, not to be a male feminist or none of that weird shit, but this feels like, I don't know, not as bad. It feels like it's rapey or something. I don't know. It feels like you're really taking advantage of a woman in her agency and profiting on it. It just doesn't set right with me.
It's like, you know, don't support what you believe, otherwise we'll support the people that are doing genocide with your money.
Well, this goes into a bigger problem. So, you know, I follow an account that I don't know if it's Nick Fuentes himself in disguise or marketer from his Rumble channel. I don't know what. I don't follow him a lot, but you know, I watched an upload he did right after the start of the Israeli war, and he gave really good context. Like, well, what's the point of all this? What are the factors? And he talks about Saudi Arabia and Israel. And if they start working together and be in line with America, having this trifecta, this really screws with Iran. And if these groups are working together, then Palestine really has no chance, and they'll be further oppressed and ghettoized and whatnot, stolen from. So really good context talking about like what would the point of a essentially suicide attack by Hamas, what does this get them? And it's like, well, there's no, essentially, because Saudi Arabia is like the Vatican for Catholicism. For Islam, that's what Mecca is there, and some other holy site or mosque is in Saudi Arabia. And so it's like, if the Saudis work with Israel while they're bombing Muslims in a ghetto that they've corralled them in, the Saudis will like revolt and destroy the government. So they have to at least put this crap on pause and have to, out of just collectivist, you know, Islamic identity, support Palestine or be neutral with Israel. And this helps Iran. Apparently the Saudis and Iranians hate each other. So I don't know. But that's like a thing. And China is behind Iran, I think. Or Russia. One of the two. Russia's in a weird place because America and Russia are kind of allies in the sense of Israel. They're both like, we got to support Israel. Anyway, all that is just, it's interesting because I saw a video of him talking about Dave Rubin, a gay Jew. He's one of these gay men who, with his husband, have bought a baby, I guess, through surrogacy. I'm not against that. It's weird. It's not great societally if this could become a thing where just everyone's born by a surrogate and purchased by whoever wants it. It's like, but freedom. I think this is the extreme end of capitalism where it's like, well, how much do you like capitalism? Because I can just sell my baby. I can just rent my womb out to people. With this guy, he's been an influential speaker in the right side sphere, but he's just been completely like, oh, you know who else did this? Hitler. I think you know which side you should pick. It's like, what? Just like Ben Shapiro trying to paint any attack on Israel as like, well, they're just anti-Semites. They're just trying to destroy. This is the Holocaust. And it's like, oh my God, dude, like calm down.
Not every war is literally black and white.
All these people, all these companies, like I just saw a video of some guys recording two black women at Target ripping down, I guess, missing signs for Israelis or something, which is weird. Why are you posting this at a Target in America? And they're ripping it down saying like, well, you can't put any of this shit on Target property or something. But he's like, oh, you're going to be fired tomorrow. You got your name tags. And it's like all because it's like, well, you were anti-Semitic for doing this. So you're getting shut down. We're going to rob you of your livelihood because you didn't go along with the narrative. That's fucking scary. And it's like Dennis getting fired for not going with the narrative. Like all these different factors of fucking law professors saying like, don't hire any of my students because they're anti-Semites. This is really weird that you're going to like injunct on people's livelihoods or futures.
That'll just make people double down. That'll just make people double down on wrong things.
If you really don't want people to, if you really don't want to turn people into alt-right Nazis that believe in conspiracies of Jew control, maybe don't like fire them for questioning things. Because then it's like, well, like clearly those guys are completely right about you people. Like, and this goes, oh, let's see, we got strife for warring leaders to take on responsibility. Yep, I agree. East Palestine over Palestine. I don't know. I haven't heard shit about East Palestine since like the week it happened. So. No Ripa talk tonight. LOL. Oh, we had a little bit. I mean, Ripa's really going down the drain. Value-wise, Tim. I don't think you saw it, Tim. So funny enough, I never thought I would be the starter of this, but without me, who would have known about this? I started a stream raid, a bunny raid in a pre-recorded premiere stream on one of the Blaze channels that had Ripa in it because he shared it on Twitter. And so I'm like, Dick Masterson, assemble the bunnies. We got a chat to raid. And holy fuck, someone got a great clip where he tries to subtly equate his goings on in comics and us trolling him with being the state of Israel being attacked for no reason. I'll share you that momentarily. Funny stuff. But heard Candace Owens went on a rant tonight that will twist Ben Shapiro's beanie. Fuck Ben Shapiro. It's funny. I'll try to be YouTube safe, but the brackets people, I mean the people that we're talking about when we say brackets, I've always said like never trust these people. don't trust someone like Ben Shapiro, where it's like conservative mumbo jumbo, which I agree with all the things he says about American politics stuff. I find a lot of value in his commentary, but he very clear, and this is independent. I've never been in chats with people where I'm like, oh, well, Ben Shapiro, he's one of them, blah, blah, blah. No, it's never come up. I just saw this organically. I'm like, this guy, when he talks, he's like, clearly Israel is more important than America to him. So don't really trust, like he'll lean into identity politics if they come into play, even though he'll talk all about Little Mermaid and diversity casting and, you know, erasing white people, whatever. He'll pander into that, but he really doesn't care. And it's really shown. If you follow him on Twitter, he's totally for genocide. You know, it's really sickening. It's sad that the mask comes off. Still find value. I'm not watching any of his shit right now. Once this war crap's over in Israel, I'll watch his stuff. But right now, fuck that guy. Never will trust him and his loyalties to America. There's none there. Maybe he is control opposition. I don't know. I mean, the Crowder thing, especially this Israel stuff, the Crowder thing really kind of shows their hand. Even the Crowder being Christian is on his knees for Israel just as much. Yeah. Thanks for joining, Baz. Good little thing there. I won't look at you. I fucking hate Candace Owen. She is. I don't like saying coon. I'm a conservative. I am black. I never like tout my identity with being any political take, but I really do think she's a coon. I really think she's just a prop. Like, look, we got a black person. We're not racist or whatever. And maybe a psyop to try to convince black people to join them. And she just feels fake as fuck. I don't believe her. He pushed the clot shot. Oh yeah, he did. He's a fraud in a lot of ways. And you are right. But yeah, I was about to hop in your chat, Tim. I don't know what you're talking about, but I was about to hop in, but another chat popped up on Twitter. I'm like, I've never popped in this guy's show. So let me say hi. Then I got distracted. Now we're on the stream. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. When are you going to get back on Twitter, man? Get back on Twitter so I can be more up to date with you. Twitter's where it's at. Let me find that video, actually. Let me finish this really quick and we'll see that rip of video. All profits will go to Israeli aid funds. Former CEO of Canada's MindGeek, the company that owns Pornhub, Firas Antoun, let the irony sink in. Pornhub, as a Canadian company, has shown the world one thing. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing I forgot. It's a Canadian company. So I don't know if this would be legal if it was America.
Probably not.
It's not just Americans who can take from Arabs and give to Jews. Firas Antoun left his post in 2022. Earlier on KCRW, actress Mia Khalifa said that supplying Hamas with weapons is the only benefit of Ukraine. In her view, corruption in Ukraine led to weapons being sold to Palestinians. Huh. Okay, so I guess she believes in this. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but this was a thing that popped up when this really thing came up, was that actually Ukraine sold Hamas weapons that we gave them or paid for them to have. So that's funny.
There it is, Ukraine or Israel or Iran or whatever.
No. The Iran thing got disproven because that money was just released. So it was in like, I think Qatar or something. I'm not sure where that's at. I'm assuming it's like Arabian Peninsula, maybe. The funds are like being held in Qatar, and there's circulation that they're only supposed to be used for like health aid and stuff for the country. And so the allegation came up that Iran funded, because Iran is completely anti-Israel. They want to like war with them, destroy them. So they're instant culprit. This is why you always hear about Iranian nuke deals and stuff. Trying to make sure they're disarmed. So they're right next door. So I guess they have ties with Hamas and probably Hezbollah. Hezbollah's in like the West Bank. But yeah, that money was not even in their hands to use, and it's been refrozen from what I saw. So that's what made the Ukraine thing interesting. Is like, wow, we've been funding them through a third party, and now we're giving all this money to Israel. Oh, funny thing. I think I saved it. This is fucking funny. Let me find it in my photos. Twitter. There we go. Go. This is going to knock your socks off. I had to have saved this. Okay, I did. Landlord of 27-year-old woman kidnapped by Hamas demands her rent in Israel. A landlord in Israel has allegedly told the roommate of a 27-year-old woman who has been kidnapped by Hamas to pay her rent or he'll remove her belongings from their apartment. Look for replacements. You're not doing me a favor by living here, he told her roommate. Her father criticized the landlord and shared the landlord's chat with the roommate. So, you know the memes about the brackets people. And here's a landlord saying, oh, you're kidnapped by Hamas in Gaza? Where's my rent? Who knew a porn star was smarter than Greta Thunberg? I will fap harder to her videos now. Do you mean, well, I don't know. Make sure you go to non-Pornhub sites to do that. So hopefully she'll get her money from like X videos or something. But yeah, it's funny. I've seen posts where it's like, oh, Israel gets attacked and then all the interracial stuff ceases.
Right.
That's the final thing. But yeah, let me pull up that video really quick for you, Timmy, if you're still here in the chat. Let me go to Ripa's. I got my messages to find the guy. Ripa's strongest hater. Media. Oh man, he did another thing. This guy's fast. Let me see this really quick. Oh, they found another video of him dancing. That's hilarious. Where did this come up? Oh my god, someone bought a CGC iSong for $5. Oh, that's hilarious. But let me where'd it go? Here it is. Tim, I hope you're still here in the chat. Make sure it's okay.
Is like that response in a time of war that they didn't ask for is much different than Hamas going in and specifically targeting innocent children.
Well, again, what's going to happen is people are going to defend that action or speak, not even defense, it's more of speaking against, let's say, a reaction, because people are going to say, well, before that, they did this,
right.
And before that, that's how it always happens. This is how it is, and I'm dealing with this, and I've dealt with this.
But that's government problem.
100%.
Not innocent civilians.
I agree 100%.
Well, you said institution against institution.
Yes, right. That's exactly what it is.
No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about how
I think everybody here has dealt with.
Wait, what'd you say?
I don't want to talk about the actual stuff going on over there. I want to talk about how I can relate to that.
Well, he tried to like humble brag his own problems into the conversation.
Yeah, it sounds like nobody
let
wants.
me just drop this little nugget. Maybe you'll bite on it.
Nobody wants to hear about it. They're talking about something completely different.
They're probably like that girl on that stream. What is ISOM?
Yes, ISOM. Is that a new band?
Again, I love what Dick said in his stream. This guy has just lucked into the white guilt era of the internet, and with all these people being conservative, mostly with this like Star Wars shit, they're fucking falling over themselves to get him on. Of the most milk, he's saying the same exact shit, It's easy as fuck. It's easy as fuck say woke bad. But this is where, again, I find value in Ben Shapiro. There's a clip I saw. I don't know the context of the stream or the venue he was at, but he's like, anyone can read the news. You can read a fucking article to a camera. But it's like, it's another thing to be an expert. He's like, you should read, like, this is just a brand number. He's like, you should read like 10 books on a topic and become an expert, not just a news figure. So I really take it to heart. So I want to put effort, since like always trying to read more comics. Like I'm trying to do maybe 10 Spawn comics a week and actually read through the whole series up to date, get the full context, full scope, full kind of retcons, reboots, and all that stuff. But anyway, let's finish this.
On more of a micro level, it's a cultural thing. And any event that someone feels, and people that like follow me know where I'm going with this, I'm not going to bore anybody with the details because I have my own experiences here. But what happens is that in the event that people have made up their mind that you are not to be liked, okay, whether it be a person, individual person, type of person, no matter what, anything that you do is unjustified. Anything that someone else does to you is to be justified. And like to your point, you worded it perfectly where you say, hey, you're just supposed to take it on the chin. That's the expectation it is that they have for people that they despise. Now, why they despise them, whatever. Is it because they—
oh my God. See, this is funny.
I actually don't even get it. So he's saying that like when Hamas attacks Israel and then Israel is going to respond, but people might say don't respond. It's like when Bunny Man says my book sucks, and then I don't know, I get really angry about it, and it's funny, and then people meme more, and then it's like, what is it? What is this point? What is this point?
Oh man, but yeah, it's like the fact he's trying to like equate this. So he kind of shows his hand that he's a Christian that's just going to fall hook, line, sinker with support Israel. It just cringe as fuck. Makes no fucking sense to me. Put this out there. If any of y'all can clarify, why Christians think they have to suck off Israel, makes no sense to me, because it's like it kind of feels when you read the Bible like God kind of forsakes it through as Jesus, one of the three God persons, kind of forsakes Israel because like these are special people. Messiah comes from, and then he's like, well, whatever. Most of the rules are stupid. Don't do them. And I'm for everybody. I'm not an ethnic God. And so it kind of undoes. It feels like a retcon of the Old Testament. And it feels contradictory, to say the least. One of the many reasons why I left Christendom. But yeah, these people killed Jesus, even though spiritually it's like we all have killed them with their sins, but they directly handed them over to death. And that's kind of implied. This is an eternal curse on Jewish people for doing so. That it's just confusing. In the Crusades, when the Christians were marching to the Holy Land on the way there, they were killing Jews because they're like, well, they killed Christ. Let's kill them on the way to kill Muslims. So it's just funny how it's completely 180 and gotta support them, gotta give them nukes. They were allies. It's like, what are they? They don't help us at all. Do we have a base there? I mean, maybe you learn some like counter terrorism stuff because they're surrounded by enemies, but like it's really no value. It's a parasitic fucking allyship. I don't get it. Talmud says Jesus is burning in excrement in hell. Dude is a self-absorbed buffoon. Yeah. Muslims at least think he's a prophet. Yeah. Let me see. Let me go back really quick because he has. Here we go. This is the Ripa Holy Award. This is Ripa's Strong's Hater editing over. He's hilarious.
See, what it is I need a few $1 billion for my legal defense fund. And see, I'll put it to you this way. I'm like Israel, and these bunny rabbits is like Hamas and all that. So what it is I got to get some money for security to ventilate them because they ain't gonna stop. See,
ventilate them.
Well, it's funny too that he was just like equating himself to Israel. being wrongfully. Why would they attack me? They just do. It's like, well, what we know is Palestinians have been there for more or less 1,000 years. Generally speaking, the Jews have been exiled before 1948. As a collective, they've been exiled from that land since, I want to say, Rome was there. That's why you get like these, all the Jews are like in Europe. So yeah, and then before that, because I guess the date of them taking that land is like 1400 BC. And so it's like, well, who was there before them? Don't like to answer that question.
The crab people, of course.
So this idea, like, well, it's our land. It's like, well, but someone else before. It's like the Indians. The Indians, like,
they're just colonizers of the East. That's all.
Let me find it really quick. There's a great one. Stone Toss did. Toss Indians. Okay, yeah. Let me share this. Yeah, y'all should definitely. This guy needs way more love. He is. You look him up. It's scroll up. Ripa's strongest hater. So you need to follow. He's hilarious. And then Riley dropped a rap video. Let me find it. I have to go to his media. This guy is funny as fuck. I don't know how he only has 800 followers. He's fucking hilarious. What was I sharing? Something funny Muslims. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I was going to share that. Here we go. So it says, "Go back to where you come from," and he's wearing a Confederate flag. So it's like, oh, clearly a racist, man. And then he says, "Cool, when are you leaving?" And then another, and he says, "Cool, when are you leaving?" Another ending, "Cool, when are you leaving?" Because this is the actual history they like to not address. Is like, well, the Indians are killing each other all the time before white people came here. We just made the warfare arguably more humane with bullets instead of arrows and axes and scalping everyone all the time. I mean, especially the French Indian, we did that too, but I would say a lot less than what Indians did. So I get a kick out of Stone Toss. So he's like, Campy Exposed. The channel is great. I don't know about Campy Exposed. I'll have to look into that. That sounds hilarious. Campia Exposed. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being in the chat. Last I checked, I'm at 1,800 watch hours for a year. You got to have 3,000 to get monetized. I've been trying for months to get remonetized because I lost it being gone for a while. So if you want to help me get there, I appreciate it. That way I can just, whatever little bit I can get off YouTube, it just goes in the meth gator coffer. Let's find this. I don't think you've seen, no, you haven't seen this, have you, Ricky? This Riley rap video.
I don't know.
Why are you so quiet today, Ricky?
I'm not, I mean, I don't know what to talk about with the war stuff, so I don't know. Just whatever sense that I can comment on, but yeah.
Here's a 2-minute rap video from Riley.
Yeah. Ison cannot save you. All hail the Clipper burst. Ison cannot save you. Yeah, Eric, you lie, but I see through you with your self-facts. You must rap a backwards, dude. You got vapid, clips flaccid, and egomaniacal. I'm just panicking. I've no reason to lie to you. You think that I'm joking, guys? Now you just assuming it attracted to the viewers. Say the Ripper verse is moving, bitch. I love to burn down farms. I am not new to this. My fat ass has had his last supper like do this shit. I'm trying to straight up the ass rape. Young Ripper, rude as shit. I'm trying to shave. Fuck it, I'ma do this shit. 30 years old, you already need a facelift. Soon to carry on, you a black up and face it. Oh, shit. For the place till the day they replace you. And you know the true slave to the day we replace you. The grip doesn't sell, Alex goes back to base. You cannot feed your friends on such a tiny place, dude. What's your 4-year plan when the funds are lacking? I'm only asking because you didn't make it when you were rapping. Oh, that's right. The warehouse you packing and jacking it in, huh, Eric? Have fun working in distribution, Eric. 1 book a year is not a new institution, Eric. but you know that. You're creatively bankrupt, but your flow's whack. You're still profiting. The Kathleen Kennedy of black-owned comics, then. I'll rip another verse if you don't let me shave you. I'll hail the clip of verse. Isom cannot save you. I'll rip another verse if you don't let me shave you. I'll hail the clip of verse. Isom cannot save you. Pull up. Yeah, pull up. I said pull up. I'm about to 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 pull up. All right, guys. This is my friend Eric D. July, one terrier. Because I have more testosterone than Eric July. You're a fucking pussy. You're a fucking pussy that all agree with me. You fucking loser. Apologize. Apologize.
We don't know what he'll do.
Not a game. No, the only sensible response Eric needs to do is have a response to his rap battle with his own rap. And
that'd be hilarious.
Make it a back and forth diss track.
It'd be like, oh, you want me to apologize, but you pay taxes because you're a cuck paying taxes? Like, that would be Eric July's.
You want me to apologize while you're on the floor sucking dick with guys? Oh, yeah. Just try to call him gay.
You gay?
You think you could afford me with $41? My ancestor cost more than that.
Yeah.
That's some creativity for. See, like, that's beyond a troll, in that he's also creative. Like, that's some clever stuff, and the little skits that he does with this. Like, that's some fun interneting. Like, the only way to deal with it is to lean into it and have fun.
They said this months ago. It's like, you don't, like, Dick and their comedians, like, don't feed them. Don't fuck with them. This is not your average naysayer. You're going to regret this.
It's either don't feed them, or if you also, like, agree with them or, like, positively lean into them, that changes how they will respond.
If you agree with them, that disarms them. Or this whole thing, aside from the fucking crying like a bitch, not accepting criticism from people you don't like, being quote unquote ANCAP, the government, there's no rights, there's no laws but property rights, and then you call the cops, have 5 cops fingerprint $41 when the guy is on video and shared it himself that he taped the money. There's no need to call the cops. Parading this idea, you fucking, in your lawsuit video, the main point was trying to lay this like progression of facts to be like, it's Dick and Vito, which I think could give them a legitimate slander case if they wanted to fuck you more than the ISOM case, which seems fairly legitimate. It seems like it's a coin toss now versus this is silly. And honestly, I was looking into something. Someone mentioned Victoria's Secret versus some other company called Victoria something, Amazon versus Amazon Makeup, Apple versus some Apple company, and the big companies won, whether they had precedent or they were just bigger and had better lawyers to argue their case of like, well, we're the bigger thing. We're known for this name and they're using it and we don't like that. And it's confusing because people think they're supporting us when they buy their product. It's that simple. Like, I really think he's going to lose.
Yeah, most likely.
Especially, he tries to argue, well, they work in a totally separate field of publishing with like religious. It's like the religious thing actually encompasses fiction, and there's confusion that your fiction is related to them. Also, he sold ISOM merch, hats and shirts with just the name ISOM on it, not even like the comic stuff. So that's confusing too. The logo's different. And also, you look bad because you trademarked Rippaverse. And so you clearly know how to trademark, and for some reason you didn't trademark ISOM.
And before his book was out, their ISOM was the first thing that comes up when you type that in. So you would have found out before anything.
But it's funny because I don't know what. Probably maybe Eric saw my fake gay article of Eric saying I'm not homosexual.
Well, maybe he got angry because it isn't fake. Homosexual.
Oh, my cover is blown.
Yeah, that.
But I made this meme after he blocked me because I made a poster. I'm like, you can block me, I'm still going to see your tweets. I have alts, and people. Such funny takes about that. People are like, ha ha ha. Other people are like, you're deranged. Get a life. I hope they find your IP address. Oh, what is up, Death Wish? I don't know if you're gonna be up, but in a few minutes I'll send you a link if you want to chitty chat with us. Get your kind of perspective on ISOM if you want, or whatever's going on for you. Let's see. Let me present this though. So I made this meme after he blocked me. And so what I did was I took a July post and I blacked out, I removed everything besides where it says Eric July in his logo. And I took this other tweet and says, so the prompt is, hey artist, what does your family think about your art? And so it says, my dad saw my skill in art and said I should go into comics. And I said, no, those are scams. And he said, I know, I want you to scam people.
It's brilliant.
So it's like, now you just incentivize me like Riley, you know? Maybe, do I got to go tape money to your warehouse?
Maybe, and then he might have more security there, and they'll have laser beams on there.
Dude, idea of like, I've informed my family or whatever in the area. It's like, are you just going to start wasting money on security at all these random
sites? It'd be kind of funny if like Riley's like, do you guys want to be in a rap video? Rap about Eric July.
I would get a kick if he hired Eric's family to be in a video.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, wow, here's money.
I don't know if it's true because I don't know Eric's mom's name, but someone in a thread I'm in shared a link of a lawsuit or a claims court or something, debt collection from an Alicia person that I guess is supposed to be his mom, and it seems like it's probably $1,000, give or take, something like a couple thousand maybe for a credit card, probably. Not for doxing the family, even if it's public record. Like, no, don't do that. But someone uncovers it, it's funny if it's true because, like, wow, you made all this million, you brag about it, and everyone's like, yeah, we made millions. We're hurting Marvel.
I thought he said he like bought his mom a car or something.
And it's like, why didn't you just pay the fucking debt? Like, maybe okay. So like, it looks perception-wise, looks like a total neg on Eric if it's true. But in his defense, again, I'm a fair critic. ISOM sucks. The worst thing you could do, Eric July and Rippaverse Shields, worst thing you do is make a good fucking book written by Eric July. Not Chuck Dixon, not the Yaira sister twins or whatever. Eric July himself writing a good book. No ghostwriting. That's the way you defeat us, is actually make a good book. And you haven't. You've written 2 and they suck.
Like then we'd be more positive.
Well, it's not just that they suck. It's like, all right, whatever. You're a novice writer ultimately, but it's your attitude about writing and it's sucking. And you've been like, no, this is good. The only thing I would change is like some word bubbles and typos. And it's like, wow, you're fucking worse than Rian Johnson. At least Rian Johnson's crap film has arguable points in the saga to justify it. It's a split. More or less, Last Jedi is a split on perception of the fans. You can make arguments clearly against it. And you can make arguments for it that I think lack the context, but at least they have arguments. Let's see. Death Wish. There you are. Messaging. Here you go. Sent you the link, Death Wish. Do you think he would ghostwrite a book or another comic? Oh yeah, I think definitely in the future. I mean, he's got. Well, it's funny talking about like Oh, well, like I'll take the criticism of someone like Chuck Dixon, and EVS points out greatly. It's like you're paying the guy, so like, how honest is he going to be? Hey, what is up, wizard? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
You sound very like far away. You sound like you're across the room or something.
All right, how about now? Is that better?
Nope, still not better.
Still just barely hear you. It's like I can hear that you're trying to talk, but
As
barely.
small as you can think of.
You sound like a little short person. You can try again, probably. See if the mic works.
Yeah, you deal with that. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick here.
Okay, fun.
So you bring up whatever. According to theory, I go to the bathroom.
All right, yeah, fun. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't actually been paying as much attention to movie stuff lately, necessarily. Usually paying attention to what's coming out or whatever, like a lot of people tend to do. I just haven't lately. All right.
I mean, I tried. Is it better or not?
No, still barely hear you. I think you have another. I think you still have the YouTube open. Mute the YouTube or whatever. So I can hear like my echo.
All right, how about now?
Oh, that helps. Do you have like a volume control on there, or do you know if your proper mic is connected to it right now, or like to check the settings? Because sometimes StreamYard will connect you to a different one.
All right, how about now?
It sounds a little bit better. I still can hear myself talk also, though. Do you have a tab open where the YouTube's playing still?
Yeah. Take this, but go to my apps. All right, how about now?
Okay, talking and oh, yep, I can still hear myself.
Oh.
And I can still barely hear you. I can hear you a little bit better, but barely.
Oh, I could see here. Okay, we here. Let me see here. Nope.
You sound a little better.
I do.
Yeah, you sound better. I can still hear myself echo, but that's a little bit quieter, and you're a little bit louder now. So that's at least improving.
Oh, that's good. Sorry, I tried. I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm just on my phone, and I forced closed the YouTube app. So.
Okay. That's all right. It might take a
So
second.
I have no idea.
That's all right. Yeah, I can still hear myself echo, but it's barely. I can hear you a lot better now.
All right. I'll take that. Unless Angus can't stand it. How about you, Angus? Is it all right for you?
He went to the bathroom, so he'll be right back.
Oh my bad.
Yep. So how is
Yeah, it's crazy. I was off and on about Eric July for a while, but yeah, like after recently in the past few weeks, then yeah, like just his manner alone, like I have to force myself to read his stuff at this point.
Yeah, it's like his attitude, his mannerisms are bizarre, but his stuff is funny. Like even his books, we don't think that they're good, but they are a funny read.
Oh, all right. I'll definitely check it out then.
It's like
I've seen panels, like not panels, but I've seen tweets of panels, and like yeah, like it seems like a lot of talking with a lot of background. And I saw that castle, and I had to stop myself from buying one of those like little toy trucks that you get from like maybe not a grocery store, but sometimes they're there. I buy like the closest similar white truck, and then place it right next to a big ass bong and take a picture of it. Or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's like I don't know. I'm gonna see how the next couple are, but I don't know.
I'm gonna try to force myself to read 1 and 2, not by, pretty much during the weekend.
Yeah,
And that's gonna take a while.
At least they'll be cheaper in value for you.
Definitely, yeah. Like, someone was nice enough to give me a fresh link, if you know what I mean, so I can just read both 1 and 2, and then if I somehow like it, which I will give money because I don't, but just because of his personality alone, like his unwillingness to just mute or just stay out of certain stuff that's why I haven't bought any of his stuff yet, and even I haven't even bothered reading it on a free site on top of it.
Yeah, it's 200 pages and not much happens there.
I know, I can't imagine.
But
like
regardless,
even when I'm like, because like I won't, like, let's say like people say that you should prepare for your first work to like suck basically, and obviously it's like a half and half on that. Like obviously you don't want it to suck, but you shouldn't expect like professionalism either on your first try. But then you shouldn't like pretend that your stuff is so good that it's going to change the media. It's just it's crazy.
yeah, exactly. But how are you doing?
Oh, I've been writing a lot. I'm still writing right now. I'm trying to. I good news is I got unstuck with Chad. So the reason why he was so difficult was because I made I made like 4 other characters that's so elaborate and gruesome. By the time I got to him, I had like my ideas were running kind of thin.
I know the feeling. I used to write that way too. I try to make the world around, and then I try to get to the story, and then I'm like, what is the point of this again? Like,
oh, definitely.
I was like, oh, here's my main character's parents and their parents, and this is where they're from, and blah blah blah. And then I'm like, what's my main character doing?
Oh yeah, they say that you should do the world first, but like sometimes I almost find the opposite to be true. Like you should do the characters, like not like crazy in detail, but like make sure like okay, who actually carries the plot.
Yeah, I think that's good. Making sure you have a way to go. You can kind of build the world as you go, and as you try to make your story and what decisions have happened, that's where you can start to build the world anyway. Is where you go. As long as like by the time you're done, I'd say that you'd have an idea of how you want the world to kind of be like, and then you can expand from there. Once you have a solid, like at least one story going through, you can build the world off of that.
That was my biggest criticism for my family. It's because I know I want to write, but I have flushed down this novel so many times. Like I think the biggest setback was like way back in high school. I had 100 pages worth of material, and one day I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is good, and then just.
I know the exact same feeling. I did the same thing with the other ideas that I've had, but I think the key is making the one story that you want other people to read for sure, and include little details in there about your world that you think they might want to know about, and then you can expand on that stuff later. It's not. I mean, it's good in a way to have an idea of what you want, but you don't worry too much about all the stuff they're not going to see for a while. Like, just make sure that what they're going to see in the first one is important enough to get them to want to see more stuff later.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I'm gonna do with I'm still working with Death Wish because I'm gonna at least build up someone like pretty much an information like outline thing, so I know exactly what I'm trying to aim for, and then see if I can actually do it. Because the reason why I kept flushing it down is because I would get somewhere and realize that I'm pretty much lore dumping. Like, I would, you would see a normal conversation, and all of a sudden it was just like, yo, I'm related to this person and such, and this happened, which caused this to happen, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, once I actually like stepped back and read it, I'm like, I am totally like lore dumping for no apparent reason. Like, people don't talk like this. And
yeah, like
once I realized
an idea
I
would
stopped.
be Yeah, well, you could still like touch on it. So, like, if like a random example is like, oh, the ancient sword of blah 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 that still exists, and it's like, you give a tease of something, and they act like they know what it is, and then it's like the fleshing of it out can be done later. Like you can without lore dumping. Oh, the sword that does blah 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 blah. Nope, you'll show what it does later probably. So or
that's what
have it
I'm
be in action
decided
later.
what to
So it's like
do.
spread
Yeah.
out the information that's going to be presented and whatnot.
Yeah, I think the reason why it was the reason why I was lore dumping is because I was trying to do it like I still want to do like a fantasy, almost dystopian future of vampires, but not like. But I have to pretty much build from the bottom up because if I do way in the future, then I keep running into the issue of lore dumping to explain why a certain family hates another family and I just couldn't quite smooth it out quite as I wanted. That like no matter how many times I rewrite it or retry the chapter, I kept running the same issue. Like all of a sudden, you would just learn a shit ton of information at once, and then even though it was interesting, it was like, whoa, okay, okay. And he's like, why didn't I learn this later on? Or you can carry this on later, but then. But then I ran into the issue of the future chapters where other things were forced to happen. So that's why I end up, pretty much putting a pause on it and writing Mr. Cobb and my other short story to actually think and make sure I actually want to actually know what I want this time, so I don't rewrite for like the 6th or 7th goddamn time.
Yeah, sometimes rewriting it's good to narrow it down. That's what I do sometimes, but it depends on how long your story is trying to be.
Oh yeah, I know Death Wish is gonna be long. I mean that's why I'm not gonna give it ask someone to review it because unless they're willing to read almost, I don't know. Like I'm probably gonna. I always overestimate. I assume it's gonna be long because I want to build the lore from the ground up. That way I don't lore dump. So I'm assuming it's gonna be long.
I mean, I'd say have the goal of having each chapter pretend that that's a mini story, like that you're accomplishing a beginning, middle, end within a chapter, and then that'll be easier to kind of write the whole scope of your one book, essentially.
Yeah, and I told myself I was going to finish it, and even if it's lackluster, I would at least be proud that I actually finished the freaking novel, because I've been writing this thing since 13, so I just want it to exist at this point.
I feel you. You back from your dump, Angus?
No, I'm dumping right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about new writers, and the reason why I kind of hesitant to make fun of Eric's July misspelling all that stuff because I am also misspell a shit ton myself, but.
No. You make fun of him because again, he has to brag about 6 million, his work staff, his warehouse, and yet his editor or whoever, like no one caught these fuck ups.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he's earned the scorn definitely by now. Like I even told people, I'm like, man, if he keeps blocking CG people, like he's not gonna have any CG left for an audience, and then that's gonna have fuel to the fire. Like like I said in your comic session, you're the 5th CG person that I follow he blocked. I'm literally seeing like one by one I've been blocking everyone I follow, pretty much.
Yeah, well, it's like
he was at 514 subscribers, 1,000, and I think he's at 512, so he's lost subscribers recently.
Well, it's like with how much money he's made, he can afford to handle some criticism, like even the spelling or whatever. It's like it makes more sense compared to other people that make far less, like different level of slack to give.
That's what's that's where he's getting, like he can't acknowledge that his second book made less. Of course, he's like, oh, I made 2 million. I'm like, yeah, if you add the so-called charity money to it.
His so-called, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because he pockets like $5 for each book, right? After I watched the Rick Arcada's video.
That was fun. Arcada's been.
I thought to myself, I'm like, he's gonna add that charity, isn't he? He's gonna add that number, and my brain was like, no, he wouldn't. No, And then once I saw like in my like that post that pretty much it's not his account, but they post like how much they made, and I saw that number. I'm like, God damn it, he did add the charity fund, motherfucker.
Well, what's funny is he's got slightly less than half the backers from the first campaign.
I know, it's crazy.
Also,
I saw the drop, and then I saw the other tweets like, well, JK lost like 65% on her second book, and I'm like, ugh. Stop comparing him to people who already have well-established history. He has not earned that yet. It takes years.
Well,
or
also,
but
I told
people just want to
Rookie-
give him the medal immediately.
I told Rookie his drop in sales price from the first one is like Last Jedi levels.
Oh yeah.
From Force Awakens, Last Jedi, it's like they lost like 700
I think
million.
I'll give him like 5 more years because I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon. But I said I'll give him maybe 6 or 7 years max before he moves on to something else. If the numbers continue the way they are. And
Well,
blocking.
you know, I see some of these fans look at their accounts and they're arguing stuff, and it's like they're really dumb.
I know.
It's all these vocal guys.
I know one, like, I interacted with regularly, and it was called Wouldn't. And my God, that guy, like, I think he's more stupid than me. And that's coming from a retarded person.
Well, it's like I've seen a trend of like a lot of these vocal guys, these shills, like black guys, and they talk kind of retarded, and they're up to like, well, it made money, and it's like I really think there's this certain demographic he's definitely catered to that they're living vicariously through Eric.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And they see they don't see the plot problems in the stupid writing. They see like this ridiculous like street gang member kind of fantasy of like I can throw my weight around. I'm a one-man wrecking crew. Like logic doesn't apply at all to like their love of this, which is sad. It's worse than like Power Rangers or Transformers or any like something that you're like. It's okay if it's stupid. It's here. You want to see punching, you know. It's worse than that because at least getting to the punching more or less makes sense every time.
Definitely. I saw a word at one panel where he was about to punch a guy but didn't. And I'm like, well, that's probably why his book is failing, because the whole point of a comic is to see the action. I mean, like, why take that out?
Have you read it?
I've seen 3 panels, but I have none. I'm gonna try to force myself to pretty much read 1 and 2 this weekend. Just because all of his tweets I seen in the panels, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to waste my time. I just
Yeah, I'm going to back Alpha Core just so I can see how bad it is with another writer. I don't think it's going to help much because it's like you can brag about the guy who made Bane and wrote a lot of Nightwing writing it, but it's like he's writing what he's given. So
that's true. Yeah, I mean, he's probably getting a little bit like, okay, maybe he realizes writing is like really flawed. So he's like, okay, maybe I'm going to use somebody else and they can make it more better. But I'm like, you already have like 2 books of nothing. So for it to improve, they would have to basically almost I'm not saying it like reboot, but basically
that would be hilarious.
Almost like a third comic that would pretty much like an info panel of most of what was missing, and then the 1 and 2.
Yeah. What else has been going on for you, Deathwish?
Nothing much. Just I've been doing a crap ton of writing. That's why I haven't been falling. That's why I've been falling behind on everything, because I can't multitask. So I'm putting 100% of my concentration on finishing the Halloween thing before Halloween, and getting it to my editor, who's willing to do it for free. So it might not be perfect, but it's definitely going to be, better than what I have now. But then just give it out for free, because it's not like a serious thing. It's a joke, and even if it's like kind of lackluster, I can learn from it if it turns out that way.
No, that's a good attitude to have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because I know I know I struggle with writing myself, but I try to, like, I criticize myself a lot, pretty much to the point where it might be slightly unhealthy, but I try to analyze everything pretty much. Like, I'm like, okay, all right, is the story good? Is the characters make sense? Is when I pretend I'm somebody else and I'm actually reading what I'm writing, am I actually enjoying it? If the answer is no, then I restart. So far, I do like the tidbits in Mr. Cobb. I actually did laugh a few times, and I'm just like, haha, that's stupid, and that's good enough for me.
Are you gonna go see the Marvels in a couple weeks?
The Marvels.
Yeah, Captain Marvel movie.
Oh, probably not. I haven't seen a movie in a while for a bit. I was waiting for something good to come out. It seems like it. Yeah, it definitely feels stagnant the theater right now because I'll check and see nothing that interests me.
Yeah, that is a crazy thing. Like since Barbie and Oppenheimer, it's like, yep, there's another. I think I saw something recently.
I think I saw, what was it? Oh yeah, Talk to Me or something, and yeah, that was medium as hell. When I think about it, I mean, like it was some parts of it was interesting, like how the teens were basically acting like it was cocaine or some type of drug, nearly. But then it kind of got stupid.
Yeah,
like not in a good way. Yeah, like the hand part was interesting, but they could have done so much more with. Like it could have been a little bit more interesting, like as in like. I don't know, like how I'm trying to think how I would make that movie more interesting. And just like maybe like do the possessing thing, but not treat it like it's a drug. Like it took the fear factor out of it that the teens weren't even afraid of it. You know what I mean? Not until one of them got seriously injured. That is, but
what was this
by
movie?
that point, it was called Talk to Me. It's like it has a hand on the movie picture thing. So you look, you can watch it if you want, but it's like the hand part's the only interesting part I liked in that movie. And maybe the possession, but after they started treating it like it was like a drug, like all my interest pretty much started slowly draining. I'm like, there's no fear in this like whatsoever. This sucks.
Generally speaking, horror movies really disappoint me anymore. The Creator, that's what I saw recently, and it was forgettable.
Oh, that sucks.
Unfortunate because it's beautiful as hell, and it's only $80 million movie, but it was lackluster. It's confusing too because it's essentially an AI film, so it's like we've gotten to this point. It's consciousness, it's in question now, but AI set off a nuclear bomb, but it turns out it was like a bad programming code by humans, and so like the West has put all this like trillions into a like war machine flight thing in the sky that they operate out of. They're trying to destroy the last remnants of like AI in Asia, and then our character finds this like chosen one, I guess, child. It's like his wife ends up being the mother creator of this AI, so because she lost her child in an explosion that was theirs, and it was just the biggest problem is like they have a third category. They have just regular robots, and so it's like, well, what's the difference between the robots and the sentient people that are robots or androids or whatever? So it's muddled and it's just lackluster. Stick with Ex Machina, stick with Ghost in the Shell, stick with Blade Runner.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because I saw you guys were your opinion on Alita. I wanted to ask like what was not interesting about it. Like was it because of the romance, or because like how cartoony kind of almost looked?
No, I thought Alita looked pretty hot, honestly, but it's like all the effort went into her, and then everything else is bland. Everyone else's CGI looked like Spy Kids, like there's like the Shark Boy and Lava Girl, like these kind of derivative related studio films from like the Spy Kids people. That just sticks out to me really bad. It's awful. It's so convoluted because you got like, all right, here's a girl android thing. There's been like this great war or some shit, and she's like the last one or whatever. And this cyborg surgeon finds her and fixes her up, but also he's a bounty hunter at night with like a cyberpunk rocket powered axe thing.
Yeah, that's where the manga starts to influence the movie. I can understand why some people didn't like it.
And then also we're doing rollerball shit.
Oh yeah.
And then that's going, it's like, I feel like just her power level and then the bounty hunter, that should be enough to like somehow she warms up into the city above. But no, we got to do a sports thing, which I like sports.
Right? I admit that part was dumb. Yeah, it's like, why can't you just use your new robot body? But
and then on top of it, the whole reason I saw it was because of the Captain Marvel versus Alita thing that they built up.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's unwoke. So let's see, Alita Angel to fuck with feminist Captain Marvel. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then I see it, I'm like, just because it's woke, not woke doesn't mean it's good. This is fucking awful, and people just pretending to like it. And shilling for a crap movie, like let's get it at the box office, see it again. And it's like,
I don't do that. Like I saw it like one time.
This is not Avengers. This is not Spider-Man. It's not Avatar. It's not Star Wars. You don't see this shit. You shouldn't see it once, honestly.
That's true. All right, fair.
And yeah, the Alita army, I would say, is worse than like Raylo shippers. They're worse than Snyder. Well, I don't know. Maybe Snyder Cut is taking the cake now, but for a while they were worse than fucking Snyder Cut people. They're like the worst fucking fan of the weirdo Alita army. Hate them.
Yeah. I can never be like a straight up just have a fan account because that's just kind of cringe to me. I agree. I'm like, okay, yeah, I enjoyed it, but then I went on to the new thing. I didn't watch it twice.
There's nothing there. Like if it's like, oh, I'm Jedi account and I live my life based off this fictitious religious order. And it's like, well, there's enough there to like, yeah, if you try to just live your life spiritually like a Jedi, that's probably going to be a good thing. Being like, well, a Jedi, we do this and that, even though it's a fucking fictitious order. It'd be like if you're an elf person from Lord of the Rings and you make your whole life about like the elves and whatever Tolkien wrote about elves and their perception, their tie with the god entities and stuff. Nature, like that'd be positive, it'd be good. Like, what the fuck is Alita doing for you? She's fighting the cyborg control mechanisms of the like Sky City people.
Because she's big, strong robot woman.
It's just fucking awful. Ricky, back me up here. I know you got your own angles with why this shit sucks.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I only think about it whenever people mention it and say it's great or whatever, but like you pretty much covered everything with it. It's dull, boring. There's interesting concepts they could have explored more, like her coming in tune with her body and whatnot. But then she's like, she can kick all these guys' asses, and she does get beat once, yes, but barely, while doing significant damage to the guy as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like there wasn't enough of the build up for it really, and then her love interest was kind of a lame build up. It was just like, well, whatever, okay. The dad thing or whatever, the doctor seems fine, but he seemed like he's like 7 characters in one, and he gets killed off, and it's just like I don't know, whatever. Like it just seems like really like a low budget got a big budget film or something, and it's just like, yeah, there you go. You didn't really fix any of the problems that was already there. You just had more money into it.
It definitely suffers from cutting out a lot because they can't only do so much because the manga goes on for so long, and they have to pretty much try to compress all that into one book.
It's like when they did Avatar, or when they did the last Airbender movie, and it's like they did all of season 1 in like one movie, and it is entirely disjointed for it. Makes no sense. It takes away all the impact of anything and makes it really lame.
It's like, it's like if you want to pull like a long series like that off correctly, you're just gonna have to spend the money to actually, actually release episodes after episode of it.
Let's say, I mean, even if not, you could sometimes maybe combine a few episodes into one movie, but have that be the structure then, or choose what parts you want to omit, or what, I don't know. Like, I'd say it'd be smart to not do the origin of the story at the beginning of the season in your movie, and then try to get to the end of the season by the end of your movie. Like, that's skipping everything.
No, yeah, definitely. That's a good
point. It's like
the
opposite of hero's journey. It's like the journey is the part that is interesting, really. Like, the journey. It's just the beginning or the end, and then it's not as worth it.
Yeah, I heard good things about One Piece. Have you guys watched it yet?
Fuck no, I don't watch manga.
Fair.
Yeah, one of these days I might check it out, but I just have no current interest.
No, I love Attack on Titan. I need to finish it. I don't know if the last part's out yet, but I love Attack on Titan. I'm rewatching it to build into the ending. I know the immediate ending. I know it. Fucking Eren dies, and his plan is not.
Oh yeah, I stopped reading around like when I accidentally spelled it for myself one time, because sometimes you go onto these threads and learn more about a little bit lore in the background I didn't tell you, and I accidentally read a part where I read about that and his sister doing something kind of screwed up, and then I immediately lost all interest.
Well, what got me back into it, because like I caught up to like season 3, I think, and then there was like that pause in between producing it, and so I just forgot about it, and then someone like mentioned it, and he's like, "Oh, dude, he turns into Hitler." I'm like, that sounds awesome. And so, and then I started watching the new season, and it's like a different intro. And who the fuck are these people? Like, what the fuck's going on here? What did I miss? Like,
that's why I think I lost.
And it's like, oh yeah, this is like Marleyans
or something like that. I'm like, nah, that's not why I like this.
They're on the other continent you never knew about. You've just been watching a group isolated, and there's a whole bigger land outside of the ocean. And it's like, cool. Once you get past that and get readjusted, because it's disjoining. But once you get past it and understand, it's fucking good, because it wraps back in, oh, here's Eren and everybody. They're doing military missions. Good stuff. So I can't see how they execute the ending. But yeah, Attack on Titan's awesome. I might start watching original Dragon Ball if I can find it somewhere. Or I don't know where to watch it at.
They have, I think, the shorter versions on Hulu. I think where they cut out some filler, I think.
Okay, let me check that really quick, honestly.
I know that Dragon Ball Z Kai is on Hulu, which is they cut out all the filler, and they have like every dubbing of some of the stuff, and so that's the more concise version of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z. I didn't rewatch that. I mean, I can't recommend the abridged version enough, man. That shit is hilarious.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is good, and abridged is hilarious as well. And those guys got really good by their last season to do all their edits and whatnot. Are you like checking right now, Angus? Or
yeah, I'm looking on my phone. I had to re-log in, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Dragon Ball. It's only because the clip you showed me, Rookie, of. It's like, oh, okay, this looks actually kind of funny. Because when I was a kid, Toonami would come on. I would be like, all right, the anime crap's on, time to check out. Like, as a kid, I'd rather just not have TV on if Dragon Ball was on or any of the shit like it. I was just like, never mind. Not interested.
But yeah, I think you'll like Dragon Ball.
Well, I'll be the judge. 5 seasons? That's not even Z. Oh my god!
Look, Dragon Ball has like a total, like the whole franchise has like what, over 500 episodes.
All right, so it's Dragon Ball, and then where's Dragon Ball Z? There's Dragon Ball Z Kai.
That's what I'm saying. Dragon Ball Z Kai is the shorter version of Dragon Ball. If you wanted to watch, or Dragon Ball Z, if you wanted to watch all of Dragon Ball Z stuff, I think you'd have to get like Funimation or something. and that would be like twice the episodes.
Right. There's only 2 seasons, but they have it where it's like.
Yeah, they split it weird. It's technically like
4 seasons,
4 or 5 seasons, but they kind of count. Some of them do kind of mix together, so they just kind of fuck it. It's like, all right, whatever. We're just gonna cut it in half here. So it's like, okay,
I really hate how Hulu sets up their shit for like anime, where it's like season 1 dub, it's like dub.
Yeah, I don't like how they set that up either.
Well, sometimes they'll blend dub and sub in the same season instead of having like an identifier of like, all right, I want it dub or sub, and then I'll drop through and see the season. So it's like when you try to get in a show and then it's like 90 episodes for a season, like what the that's it. Never mind, that's too much. Never gonna get through it. Like,
oh yeah, you definitely require a lot of watching.
Yeah.
Yep. I said the first episode of Dragon Ball, a girl runs into a boy, and then she shoots him, and then he tries to throw the car at her, and then in that same episode, they go asleep, and then he smacks her panties, and is like, "Where is your balls?" or whatever, and then she's like, "Ah," and it's like, it's just like just already the comedy.
Yeah.
Well, I like that kind of crude humor. I'm simple like that, but
yeah. There's like funny stuff. The old man, their old master and stuff. He's like, all he does is fawn over. He's the creepy old man. He's like, oh, that's a hot girl over there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point too where like some fortune teller chick is trying to get the Dragon Balls, and she's like, show me your. She's like, show me your balls. And
I'm
then
not
he
gonna
just drops
spoil
his
it,
pants. Just drops
because
his
I think
pants.
it's like the. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It's more jokes that Angus will love in Dragon Ball.
Oh, definitely. I think Angus, like if he has time, that is, if he reads Mr. Cobb, I think he will definitely enjoy one part in Mr. Cobb. I think he'll like lose his shit and laughing. That's how positive I am. It's like the only part I'm pretty certain if it like leaves like my friend group and like anyone else outside my circle reads it, I'm gonna definitely be losing my job.
Well, I guess it's pro Hamas then. We're gonna blacklist you.
You know how, because people are so sensitive about, it's like, oh, it's certain characters, this can't happen to them. I'm like, it's fiction. Like literally no one's getting hurt. But
I would say something, but I need to get off here. It's not against you to be in support like what you're saying, but I don't want to keep going because I gotta get to sleep.
He's got his new job now, so
yeah, appreciate you coming. I'll have to get you on for a longer take in the future. Next week we should have. I don't know if you saw Death Wish, but Eric in his cry video about the lawsuit shared. I saw him Knox's grave. It's like the second line of patriarchs in his family line.
Oh yeah.
And so someone went to the grave and took a picture by it and left a bunny and a turtle. And then he cried about that.
Oh, that's too far. I'm like, it's like that's nothing.
You killed Isom again.
Cute little stuffed animals for him.
Don't you know Isom Knox was allergic? That's how he died. He died cuddling a teddy bear. He was allergic. But yeah, that shit was hilarious. And he was on with Geek Getaway. I need to watch it, but he should be on next week. He said he's available next week. We'll see if he doesn't have something come up, but should have one next week. Pick his brain, learn how he got the idea to beat Riley to the punch. But appreciate you coming on, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Maybe I'll do a video in the meantime. See you around.
All right, see you next week.